Okay, so we're up to vlog number 4 now, and today I wanted to talk about knowledge and mindset, and more importantly podcasts and the power of podcasts. So if you're not aware of, or if you don't listen to podcasts, they're basically just the radio, but without it being live. It's just recorded and you can listen back to it whenever you want to, and they're all saved and categorized in the specific shows. So on the iPhone you can just download the podcasts app, and then anyone that you're into, you can search their name and you can see if they've ever been interviewed on podcasts, or you can actually subscribe to certain podcasts themselves. So one of the ones I wanted to talk about was the Tim Ferriss Show, which is a very informative kind of podcast. And what he is an I think he still is a venture capitalist, so he's worth a hell of a lot of money, millions of dollars. And what he does is he interviews world-class performers, entrepreneurs, millionaires, actors, actresses, scientists, the lot. But what's great about all these people is that they're at the top of their game. And so when he's interviewing them, the whole purpose of the podcast for him is to deconstruct exactly what they do day in, day out, to pass that knowledge back on to us as the listeners, so that we can then potentially implement parts of that resonates with us into our lives. What he's particularly good at is finding out what they do first thing in the morning when they wake up. And it's a common theme in the podcast he does. It's what he asks all the time to people over and over again. So the first thing you do in the morning, how does your first hour look? What do you eat for breakfast? Do you meditate? Don't you meditate? All these kinds of questions, and there's a mixture of answers, and there's value to be heard in all kinds of ways. So Tim Ferriss is, for me, my favourite podcast show to listen to, and I think there's like 200, possibly around 250 podcasts there, so have a listen to some of them. Let's recommend one or two that are really good to listen to. So he interviews Wim Hof. He's got one with Wim Hof, he's got one with Jamie Foxx, which is really good as well. Really recommend the Jamie Foxx one. It's very, 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 very good. One of the things that I picked up actually from listening to Jamie Foxx on the Tim Ferriss Show was one of the things he does in the morning, other than like exercising and all that. The first thing he does is he picks his phone up, believe it or not, which most of us do. But what he does differently is he doesn't go onto social media and all that. He gets on his phone and he thinks about someone who he loves, or someone he wants to pass some support or motivation onto, and he sends them a message. Simple as that. Sends them a positive message to lift them up, or a message to show them that he loves them. And that's one of the positive things he does every morning, which is something that he's adding value to someone's life by doing that. And I've implemented it myself, and it's been really nice, and the response I've had off people who've received a nice message off me, it's been really nice as well. So that's something I'll continue to do. It's just showing gratitude, I suppose, which is a great thing to practice. So that's the Tim Ferriss Show, and I'll probably think of other ones to recommend in the future. So right now I'm not really thinking of the ones which I want to recommend, but there's other podcasts you can listen to as well. And one of the ones I listened to for a long time now, even before I was really into personal development, was the Joe Rogan podcast, and it's called the Joe Rogan Experience. And a lot of people will listen to Joe Rogan who's listening to this now. And if I'm honest, like I actually went off listening to Joe Rogan about a year ago, because I found him to be quite egotistical, but then I think I was being a bit judgmental of him back then. And what I found was, when I was watching the podcast, you'd listen to the person he's interviewing and he'd listen, but as soon as he got a chance to butt in, he'd butt in, and it's just like the Joe Rogan Show. You're not really getting a lot of value, you're just listening to Joe Rogan chatting whatever he chats. So I listened to him not so long ago, because someone recommended someone that he interviewed to me really highly. So I thought, go on, I'll give it a listen. And it was the Joe Rogan Show number 958 with his guest Jordan B. Peterson. And I listened to that and it blew me away. And what I really enjoyed about it was that Jordan Peterson was so intelligent that you barely hear Joe Rogan talk, which was quite refreshing. It was different because, as I say, I'm used to listening to Joe Rogan, and it's like 2.5 to 3 hour, or sometimes 3.5 hour long podcast. And you're not guaranteed value throughout, but what you are guaranteed is a lot of fun. They're quite happy guys, and they're just sort of taking the piss out of things, but then they talk about serious matters as well. But yeah, this interview with Jordan Peterson really blew me away. I recommend that to anyone, because since I've listened to that, I've been following quite a lot of Jordan Peterson stuff, and you can actually get on the podcast app and subscribe to the Jordan Peterson podcast as well, which has got a series of his lectures, which he's taught in certain universities. He's gaining a lot of traction at the moment, and rightly so, but I won't go too much into him right now, because I just want to keep this about the idea of listening to podcasts for value. Obviously I listen to podcasts as well, because I'm always out and about. I'm in the car, when I'm working and stuff, I can throw my headphones in. It's very easy to do. I don't find it so easy to read, and that's purely because a lot of my time's dedicated to exercising and preparing food and all that kind of stuff, which it just means that I get tired, and then when I start reading my book I fall asleep or whatever. I do read books, but it's just not as often as I listen to podcasts or listen to audiobooks as well. So obviously if you get the chance to read books, just read the books. It's way better. Yeah. So I might just leave it there. I'll keep it short and sweet, because I'm about to walk into the hustle and bustle of town. And I'll leave it there, short and sweet. So hope everyone's having a great day, and I wish you all a good day. Namaste, brothers and sisters.